And welcome back to the WGL APAC. Thank you for joining us. My name is Rogi. Joining me, of course, is GoGo Gadget. And we just had a pretty big upset.
Yeah, well,
coming
you're
into
not wrong.
coming into this week, if you had told me that Meltdown were going to take out Team Efficiency, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have believed that was going to be a close game, but not a victory in the end.
Particularly once Meltdown this week, they had to swap out their captain, who has been leading them so far in these battles. So, look, I mean, that's the way it is sometimes.
Yep.
Meltdown maybe even getting stronger because of it. They definitely look stronger tonight against Team Efficiency there. And, I mean, really, there's not much else to say about that one because Team Efficiency, they've just got to get back to the practice, look at what they did wrong in that one and come back in their next match tomorrow against Wargaming with all cylinders firing.
Once again, everything is up in the air here. We really, after this week, it's going to be a completely different leaderboard coming into it. So excited to see how how everything lies after that one. But of course, our next series coming up will be the Coalition Zoo taking on DarkWolves. Now, this is a series that probably won't be too impactful in the grand scheme of things. We have 7th place taking on 8th place here, and both these teams have been looking relatively poor. DarkWolves, they did get a little bit of an upset win last week, but Coalition Zoo, on the other hand, not so much.
Well, look, you're right. TCZ and DarkWolves, it is not the sort of high caliber tanking that we're, going to be seeing coming out from Meltdown and Team Efficiency. But with that being said, both TCZ and the DarkWolves have actually been looking pretty strong recently. And the DarkWolves, relatively speaking, of course, the DarkWolves having bringing in Basak.
Yep.
New player, be interested to see if he ends up getting a match tonight or whether he will only be playing later on in the season. Apart from that, DarkWolves did beat Karen Tiger last week, so, I mean, they've got some pedigree coming into this.
No, I think you're right. DarkWolves definitely the team to look out for here, and my money's on them to be taking this series. I think they have what it takes after, like you said, taking out Karen Tigers recently. I think they have the momentum coming forward. They have the players to feed off that, and it's a night of upset, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well,
of course,
exactly.
On the other side of the battlefield, you've got the Coalition Zoo here. Looking a little bit better in terms of attack and defense win statistics.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, TCZ, they've sort of been very slowly climbing up the ladder a little bit. They haven't been climbing too far because they're still in position 8.
As an E100.
Exactly, as slowly as an E100. But they've been gradually improving, and that's what's good to see from them. They now don't always pick the E100s. They do go for a few little different strats on maps which they have found to work. They've found their little niche on Prokhorovka and picking the S-Tank. They're pretty solid on Ghost Town, relatively speaking. So players to look out for. Obviously, Madhouse, we'll want to look out for him in the S-Tank. Roby 1 didn't play in their last match yesterday, but I always think Roby 1, he's good whenever he plays. So I think he might be out at the moment. I don't know, but anyways, our featured matchup for today, Batkong versus Lachipi. And of course, these are two fairly well-rounded, generally balanced players on both of their teams. You can see their average damage dealt around about the 1500 mark for both of them. Average accuracy well in favour of Mr. Lachipi there, with 68.6%, but interestingly enough, that is still below the WGL average.
Yeah.
Great fair bit.
It's going to be a good game tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these two players in particular can do to help their team get over the line, because I feel like it is going to be a game of inches here tonight. As we're going in, the two bottom teams here, they've had plenty of time to go up against much greater squads, and I really want to focus on, it's going to be about what these teams have learned so far, because this is going to be their opportunity to show off some of those strategies and not just get punished by things such as just superior accuracy and whatnot.
You're not wrong. Yeah, look, it is going to be up to them to see how to show us what they've learned. But let's take a look at the map vetoes and picks. We have got Cliff and Ruinberg vetoed out by DarkWolves and TCZ effectively. DarkWolves always veto out Cliff. They never play it in any games. Not too surprising. Ruinberg, not a great map for TCZ, so that's a good veto. Ghost Town Prokhorovka, first couple of picks. I actually think that Ghost Town pick isn't too bad for TCZ. Even though the DarkWolves are picked there, because TCZ, they feel comfortable in those heavy tanks, so not too bad. And statistically speaking on Ghost Town, the DarkWolves, I mean, is about 44% win rate, which funnily enough, might not sound that great, but it is their best map.
No, the next two are being banned away. You got Muravenka and Mines by each team respectively. Then Himmels and Steps being picked up. And of course, Himmels as the tiebreaker tonight. So give you guys a rundown of that one more time. Ghost Town, Prokhorovka, Himmelsdorf steps, and then Himmelsdorf again. Unfortunately, it won't be on the snowy variation.
Yes.
Just, boring, bland Himmelsdorf.
Good old Himmels. But yeah, Prokhorovka, that's a good first pick there from TCZ.
Yep.
They know they win it. And picking it first, I mean, it's a good way to get off to a bit of an early lead. I think Ghost Town, we're probably going to see a 1-1. Prokhorovka, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a 2-0 there, 2 TCZ.
Yep.
Then we come to Himmelsdorf, and again, maybe a 1-1, but DarkWolves have never won the Himmelsdorf defense. It's a bit tricky. I think we're going to go toe-to-toe tonight. We're in for, yeah, a good long match, I reckon.
No, I agree with you. And both these teams, they're looking for that little step up. They've both had these kind of like short bursts of greatness where they're beating on teams much higher to their caliber, but then they just find themselves falling flat once again. But then we have our brand new prediction graphic.
Yeah.
I'm really loving this one. And you guys have both gone with the Coalition Zoo win, 3-5. I've like Jordan said, I'm at the bottom of the leaderboard. I got to start taking the risks. I got to be going against the grain. I'm going for the DarkWolves to take this one.
Yeah, look, honestly, the DarkWolves have beat Karen Tiger, and I can't see a world where TCZ would have beat Karen Tiger.
No.
So therefore, by extrapolating that, by really, drawing the bow very, very wide.
Hey, you're giving away my prediction strategies on air, Alex.
Maybe the DarkWolves could actually come out with a win here. But look, I think TCZ, although they are never really successful against the top teams, it's kind of when they tussle in the mud, with the other pigs, so to speak, it kind of goes a bit better. I love your TCZ, you know that, but I
feel like you of all people get to give them a little bit of a ribbing, as you said, as you guys are on good terms. You have some fun, so it's always good when you know the good insults to give them. They won't pierce their armor, but at least give them like something to talk about.
Yeah, it'll just splash off it like a heat shell.
Yeah, pretty much.
But anyways, so overall, some good maps there for TCZ. I think the map pool definitely favours them over the DarkWolves here. The DarkWolves do have a very limited map pool. TCZ coming off Friday's game didn't look too great, so they are going to need to step it up here compared to yesterday.
Yeah, that was a bit of a slaughter on that one. But I do like that you mentioned that the limited map pool that DarkWolves have, having to ban away cliffs every single time really just hinders them on so many other maps that teams are strong on. It's just such a weakness to have. And hopefully, going forward into later on in the season, they can kind of patch these very obvious flaws that they got.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping they can as well. But here up on the Ghost Towns first, definitely going to be expecting a little bit more standard play. Probably not too many flaws because Ghost Town, it is a relatively simple map to play, and it gives these teams an opportunity to excel. Of course, Ghost Town is the only map in WGL, well, in World of Tanks really, that was designed specifically for esports, specifically for our competitive setting, our attack defensive mode. So we are going to be heading on there, and I'm just wondering, TCZ, they have been for the last week or two hinting that they're going to play something interesting. Hint, just give us little teasers.
They did it to Jordan last time, and they gave us nothing. So I think they may just be pulling your leg with these ones, giving you guys a little bit of extra fill time on air.
I hope that they're not. And
I do too. I really do.
I think here on Ghost Town, it might be a good opportunity because Ghost Town, you do have that flexibility, I suppose, to go a little bit crazy, particularly because, generally speaking, what the other team's going to be bringing, it's kind of heavy tanks. And against heavy tanks, you can pick quite a wide variety of tanks. We've seen in WGLNA, a team brought 2 Jagdpanzer E100s, the Tier 10 German tank destroyers. So we are going to be seeing... there we go. There we go. That's something interesting. So we have got something a little bit different there. We've got TCZ picking an FV215B183. Love that. Tier 10 British tank destroyer. Same gun as the 4005, but slightly worse handling in favour of slightly better armour. They've got the M40 artillery piece on the defence. We prefer an UDES.
No UDES on defence.
Yeah, not ideal. The T57 and the U100. So very heavy. Lots of damage on their lineup. Lots of armor. It's going to be very hard to kind of punch through it. The DarkWolves, on the other hand, they've got the 2 Conquerors, those Tier 9s, and not 100% sure whether or how well the Conquerors are going to work here. If they can get through the E100s, you know, the IS-7, the T-57 there on the Coalition Zoo, then they will output a lot of damage. The Conqueror has pretty decent DPM for a heavy tank. It's using that British heavy tank guns. But, well, that's always a question, whether they can actually output their damage.
Like Batkong and Madhouse going to be spotting each other out. What Madhouse doesn't know that the entire DarkWolves platoon is waiting just over the horizon, so he's got to get smart and back himself out of there. Remember, Coalition Zoo will be working with an arty piece this time around instead of Udes. It does open up quite a bit of the map for DarkWolves. Let's see if they can choose to abuse it or not.
Yeah, it's looking like it right now, as DarkWolves are going to be moving in towards this 2 flag and actually moving past it, which I think is a good idea. Oh, are they moving past it or are they sticking on it? Because I never like teams sticking on the 2 flag. There's just way too many options for attackers to reset them. You know, look at this. These 3 tanks are going to get a good bit of damage onto Joke and actually destroy his engine. He needs to repair that, but he's already used his repair kit.
Oh, that is bad. A huge barrage coming out of DarkWolves. Just catch Joke in his tracks. He goes down without even putting up a fight already. DarkWolves taking a big bite out of Coalition Zoo, and here comes Caviar in the E100 to help reinforce the main platoon here. Oh, Madhouse showing off a little bit of a parkour in the Batchat. Not exactly what you want to be doing here. He's getting taken very, very low. No bullets left in the chamber. He goes down, but that's going to be Yui traded. Pacmanius finds one in return. 6 versus 5 favoring the DarkWolves.
Yeah, okay, the DarkWolves off to a fantastic start here. You know, right from the beginning, blowing up that E100 of Joke. That was a big issue there for TCZ, and unfortunate that his engine got destroyed. TCZ at this point, look, they've still got a little bit of damage on the field, but they just haven't taken these DarkWolves down. They've split their damage way too far across all of the DarkWolves lineup, and it's going to be it, I reckon.
Great stuff coming out of DarkWolves. Coalition, they knew they had to break that hill, and like you said, there were so many avenues of approach, but they just chose the one where I think 3 or 4 of the DarkWolves barrels were stared directly at. The last player left alive is Lion in the artillery piece. He's just going to go down. See you later, mate.
See you later. Well, that was a very quick one to start us off, I think, Max. And the DarkWolves after that got to be pretty happy. TCZ, they came into that with some interesting picks, right?
Yeah.
And
they didn't get to flush it out, fair enough.
No.
But I think it all it all just came back to them checking the wrong corner, right? They choose the wrong avenue of approach. DarkWolves, they had preemptively aimed all their turrets there, and it's kind of over from that one out. You said engine got destroyed, didn't have his repair kit. It's just not in their favor.
Exactly. That was quite unfortunate indeed. And the DarkWolves there, I mean, they had all those E100s, and unfortunately against E100s, the FE215B 183 can't really do that much. No. So that didn't have much of an impact. The T57 Heavy, again, I'm still not a big fan of, particularly against those E100s, because you know it fires 4 shots, does 1600 damage, then it just does nothing for a quite a period of time. Again, we saw that artillery piece, which I just think the UDES does all that it does, but better. The UDES is sort of like an artillery piece that's not an arty, you know? It can put out shots from so far away. Yeah. Exactly. But we'll see whether any of the TCZ guys ended up pulling up on top. And, yeah, that's not too bad. Crazy on the top with 3.1k damage in the IS-7. And actually, Gom Lee there in that Conqueror, Max, he's got to be pretty happy because he got 2.2k damage in that Tier 9 heavy tank. And honestly, out of all of the Tier 9 heavy tanks that I see, I am a little bit surprised that we don't see the Conqueror more, because it's got a really good gun. It's got a Tier 10 gun with about 330 mils of penetration. That's, you know, same as what we'll be seeing on lots of these other Tier 10 tanks. So it can kind of go toe-to-toe in that regard. Yep. It's got about 2,000 hit points, which is more than a Batchat. You know, it's more than some other Tier 10s. And
great to see teams experimenting.
And Pacmanius there, 42 damage in
can't be having that. Just can't be having that Joke. He was the one that just got obliterated at the start of the fight, and Lion popped 3 shots, didn't connect with anything though. No damage, no kills. Poor guy, so he can see what went wrong for Coalition Zoo. 3 of their members just choking it, it seems.
Just choking it. Absolutely. So there we go. 1-0 to the DarkWolves right there. And I think TCZ, I mean, it is surprising to see them go that far down on Ghost Town, which is a map that, you know, like TCZ, they've got a 33% win rate on the attack, which isn't great, but it's TCZ okay. You know, if we can say that. Not a great win rate on the defense there, which is obviously what we saw, but still, like that, I don't know. Anyways.
I know, because it's so rare that a 2-flag push works like that. We often see the team attacking, go through the 2-flag, they either bait it out to make them come in, which is what happened, or they go straight through and try to do the fight on their terms. But they did the latter. They decided to kind of wait up, decide where they want to make, this is where we make our fight, this is where we make our stand. Coalition Zoo, you're going to have to come to us. Worked out for them this time, but often we see it backfire on the attacking squad.
Yeah, well, exactly, because, you know, all that TCZ had to do there was play it a little bit slower, just maybe rotate a few tanks around to one side of the flag, to two sides of the flag, and then that's why 2-flag pushes typically don't work. It's because you can get into a position where you have tanks on all 3 entrances of the flag and just all come in, and it makes it very hard for something like 3 100s on a flag to actually do anything if you do that flanking maneuver.
Showing just a little bit of why they're sitting at the bottom of the leaderboards here. Not enough patience.
Unfortunately,
not enough time spent devising a good strategy. Just seemed like they just wanted to run their E100 straight in the air.
Yeah,
straight in the thick of it, tank up some damage. Didn't work out for them.
Bit unfortunate, bit unfortunate. It's never great to see the E100s, but we are going to be seeing 2 E100s there, I think, for TCZ.
Of course, we can see DarkWolves going to be going much more standard defense, getting themselves the Oods rather than that artillery.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I think the Udes, that's a really good pick there from the DarkWolves on the defense. Works so well. The FE215B, good little bit of constant damage. TCZ, looks like a very TCZ lineup. They have thrown in the ML2 there and the WZ, so 2 tier 9 heavy tanks. I mean, can work. Can work. I quite like those Conquerors though from the DarkWolves last round.
Into game round number 2 of game number 2 tonight. DarkWolves taking us off with a win here. First round, Coalition Zoo, they got to answer back strong. You see Caviar making the very simple boost, but still, it's always a treat to watch. Gives us a little bit of insight onto where maybe those Ood shots are going to be coming from here. You can see Nomad and Joke slowly moving up the 8 line. Going to be going around about 8C or D before they make their stand. But a huge push maybe coming through from the right side of the map for Coalition Zoo. 4 of their members. It's going to be Pac-Manius leading the charge here. It's going to get spotted out though. Let's see how DarkWolves react.
Yeah, okay, so they're putting Pac-Manius here on towards the cap, and look, DarkWolves not going to be too concerned about that. That's what the UDES is for, to get those resets on towards the WZ. You can just load that HE, or he doesn't even need HE, It just goes straight through the WZ-111. And just like that, DarkWolves in no real danger right now.
Look, and remember, we saw this before. Our Team Efficiency were the ones to pull out a very sneaky win on this map that caught us all off guard. So maybe Coalition Zoo trying something of the same, but not working out for them because Pac-Manius, he's already down to about half HP. You can see Joke and Nomad have set themselves up. Good position here, Pixel.
Yeah, and I'm just taking a look at Lion down the bottom. He's going to be, or was intended to spot out Spitz there, and Spitz has now been spotted out, so that's going to deny that little bit of a flank coming in from the DarkWolves. So good positioning there from Lion, but in the meantime, it doesn't look like TCZ have actually got a point of damage out on towards the DarkWolves.
They're just copping it right now. Pac-Manius down to 225 health. As I say that, he gets dropped to 0. Here comes the push from DarkWolves. Revolution and Yui in the fully loaded AMX-50Bs. They've caught the E100s off guard. They might even be able to just clip out Nomad here. He's going to go down. One more shot should do it out of Yui. He finishes him off. Meets up with the rest of the forces to bolster them. Joke now in the firing line. He gets 1 kill before falling. Revolution cops that L. But looks like the real coppers of the L here will be Coalition Zoo if they can't answer back with a few kills of their own.
Yeah, TCZ right now, they are just falling apart a little bit. At least they've taken out Revolution there. Spitz actually, well, Lion's doing a good job here of putting some hurt on towards him, but he's now on the reload line and not going to be able to take him out. Spitz going to be able to get the kill there instead.
Everything going wrong for Coalition.
Yeah,
right
now. Look, I really thought TCC would put up a stronger showing here on Ghost Town, but obviously not. Right from the get-go, that WZ-111 getting a shot from that Udez put in towards him. Caviar actually takes a big shot.
Popping a lot of damage on that one, down to 100.
Another miss.
Madhouse versus Gomley, looking like it's bad for Madhouse. He's going to go down. One more shot should do it. Back Kong finishes him up. 2 tanks left on the field for Coalition Zoo, and they're both in eyesight for all the DarkWolves. Shouldn't be much longer before the Wolves sink in their teeth and take out Ghost Town 2-0.
Yep. There we go. So Lambert there should be able to get those shots on towards Pixel. Crazy will be going down right after that. So look, the DarkWolves absolutely sinking their teeth in, and this is the Coalition Zoo that we saw last night. They're not looking too confident, not really thinking about how they're playing. And I mean, with 5 tanks still alive for the DarkWolves.
Yeah, I really, coming into Ghost Town, I thought it was going to be a lot more competitive, but that's just 100%. One map out of the way. Coalition Zoo still have plenty more opportunities left tonight to tie up the series, or at least answer back, but it's one of those things with Ghost Town, it does set a pretty good precedent of the rest of the game. Like you mentioned in our pre-show, it's built from the ground up for competitive. It's essentially the most competitively viable map. So if you're coming into it dropping 2 rounds, that does say a lot of how the rest of the series could go.
Well, you're not wrong. It is a good litmus test for these teams to to come onto, and I would be very interested. I think this week we'll have to make up a stat or find the stat of how often a team that wins Ghost Town
wins
actually ends up winning the series, because I think you're very right in saying that it is a good way of testing how well the team's playing on any given night. Of course, it does slightly favour the teams who like to pick the more heavy tanks. We don't often see, the EL style lineup of double TVP or bat chats, working too well on Ghost Town. But apart from that, it is a very balanced map. So with that, DarkWolves definitely coming into this series looking very good. It's time for Prokhorovka next up, though. And let's take a step back before we do that.
Got to see who the heavy hitters of the game before. Spitz, Gomley, and Lambert all doing work. Spitz winning that 1v1, the crucial 1v1 to come on in and do another about 1,000 damage and change.
Yeah, that was big for Spitz. A little bit of a mistake from the TCZ bat chat that he lost to. I think it might have been Chippy. But Caviar in the Udez. Look, I mean, that's why he picked the Udez on defense.
He was hitting his shots. They were perfect. He said, just load up some HE rounds, do a little bit of damage to get the resets. But he says, no, Alex, watch this.
Yeah.
And proceeds to just hit shots, 1.8k damage, basically all on our resets, it seems.
Yeah, very good. And that's why Pac-Manius ended up down the bottom there with 0 damage. And again, this is what happens whenever TCC lose in the E100s. There's always 1 or 2 E100s right down the bottom there. 69 damage after 3 shots fired there by Nomad. And really, that is... You can't afford to be dealing 69 damage after 3 shots. Like, you need to at least have one of those go through. And I'm not sure how he even dealt 69. I think that might have been ramming or something like that.
It could have been. And maybe just repercussion damage of people ramming into him, because it looked like an absolute cluster of fun for the the attacking tanks.
Cluster of fun.
Yeah, not the defending 2 E100s there. They're just getting shot from about 5 different angles. And you feel bad for them. They're stuck there. It takes a while to kill them, but they kind of know how this story ends.
Yeah, I mean, look, and it's just weird because TCZ, look, they did try out that weird thing in the first half there on Ghost Town. Yeah. With the T57, with the 183, with the artillery piece, but there's I just don't think the 183, particularly against the DarkWolves, ever works on Ghost Town. Maybe if you're playing up against EL Gaming, you always go for the bat chats or the TVPs. You always have quite a few in the lineup, but when you're up against E100s and all of those super heavy tanks that just don't really have armor thin enough to warrant the 183, then unfortunately it's not a great tank to pick. And I would actually like to see some of these teams, even TCZ, because they've got nothing else to lose, try and take some strategies from the other regions. Instead of picking the 183 there, try a Jagdpanzer E100. Because they pick the E100 every game anyway. It's not that different. It's just got a gun that deals 1,000 damage per shot and has some insane amount of penetration on it. I think the Jagdpanzer E100 can almost go through like an Emil's turret if the Emil's turret is angled sort of in a semi-angular way.
Well, on that note, coming into Prokhorovka, what do you think teams could be implementing from international strategies here?
Well, that's
what
a good
things
question.
You'd like
I
to
think,
see, Alex?
honestly, I actually quite like the way APAC plays Prokhorovka. We have been sort of the trailblazers a little bit in the S-Tank on Prokhorovka.
Sure.
I think a few other teams in maybe WGL have started to kind of try it out from memory, but I haven't actually seen too many WGLA games on Proc recently, so I'd have to have a little bit of a double check. But look, definitely be expecting, well, hoping that TCZ pick their S-Tank here on Proc, because the last game yesterday, they played Proc, and it was like they didn't put Madhouse in the S-Tank in the first game. Then in the second game, they picked a Grill instead. It's like they don't have an 83% win rate on Prokhorovka attack because they've been picking Grills on Prokhorovka. They have an 83% win rate on Prokhorovka attack because they've been picking the S-Tank and because it's been working really well for them. So that's what they need to do here. And honestly, I would feel really confident like calling this next game at tank picks, right? Because if TCC come into this one, if they pick something that's not the STRV 103B, or even if they put it on someone who's not Madhouse, then I would feel super confident just saying DarkWolves win.
Well, it looks like they've kind of put all their eggs in one basket, in your opinion, anyway, Alex. So let's see how well they've adjusted from last night's games and hopefully gone back to their roots and what they're, like you said, 83% win rate here. And
no S-Tank, no win.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Alex calling it at the tanks. We'll have to see if Coalition Zoo can cause an upset in your mind, at least.
Yeah, well.
They can they're still in this series, but DarkWolves going for the artillery and the grill, so a lot of long-range damage.
Yeah. And look, the reason I like the S-Tank for the Coalition is that it makes the team very, like, almost reliant on that one really good player in the S-Tank, and they do have that one really good player in Madhouse. The only thing that the other team members have to do is soak up damage and spot tanks. You know, they don't have to all play, you know, amazingly and all, you know, gel super well together, because they don't do that. They're the Coalition Zoo. Yeah,
maybe all our ripping on Madhouse playing it on Steps has maybe thrown his confidence a little bit.
Who knows? Well, on Steps, Madhouse is normally in the weird Udes.
So, sorry, the Udes.
But yeah, same family, of course. And we are going to be seeing, well, let's touch on the DarkWolves lineup. They've got the grill, they've got the artillery piece, Batkong in that one. He loves playing that arty. He did have some impactful games on it the last time we saw him play. But yeah, right now, it's looking like TCZ setting up for a 2-flag defense. DarkWolves setting up for a bit of a passive 1-flag push. Off to a bit of a slow start. Oh, crazy, yeah. There we go. Was an arty shot already. Already on towards Crazib. Thanks, Observer.
Doing God's work. We should know because we do it too.
Yep.
But look, coming into this game, DarkWolves didn't expect them to be up 2-0 already. Coalition Zoo already taken the first brunt of damage and not running an S-Tank. So things looking grim straight out the gate here for TCZ. We'll have to see if they can change all our minds. Come back with a good turnaround and momentum swing to give them back control of this game so far, because it's not looking good. We've got Pixel here chilling out.
Yeah, Jokes actually pushed himself on towards the other side of the railway. Moving a little bit towards maybe trying to get some spot. Oh no, and there's an arty shot on towards Joke, I think that might have been. And again, Batkong just putting the pressure on. That's exactly what he needs to do.
But just to confirm, it is actually Beached playing under the Pixel alias tonight. So
yep,
we'll try to keep calling him Beached. It gets confusing. As you do get to used to just saying what's on your screen time and time again, but we'll try to avoid that.
Maybe he'll take the name Pixel. Maybe he'll rename himself. That'd make it easier for us. But look, right now, Crazy, he's not having it easy.
Speaking of making it easy, it could just be Crazy B. But right now, Crazy B, he's going to be copping a big shot. Batkong finishes him off. Oh, I think he's hit all 3 of his shots so far.
Yeah.
Well, he's looking accurate right now. Back on doing work. Pac-Mania's copped a
Oh
shot as well.
no,
He goes
another
down.
one! And like, what is this from TCC? They have a bat chat up in A6. They have two tanks down in J6. They have one tank in F7. There is no reason for them to push out like that tank out in the middle there. I think it was Crazy first in the IS7.
Smash.
Like an IS7 not going to spot anything that's behind those bushes on the 2 line. Pac-Manius in the RU251, even if he had spotted out something there, you know, like I'm not sure if it would have been worth it because only 2 tanks would have been able to help him out, but instead he just got completely obliterated. Like, oh. TCC, please.
Yeah, this series is looking very one-sided at the moment. Coalition Zoo not showing up at all. DarkWolves just kind of steamrolling this series, and they are on the attack, so the onus is on them to make the moves here. But now Joke, he's been caught out, taking very, very low. Gomley not going to be able to connect with too much on that one. See the rest of DarkWolves all just poising, ready for the impeding attack here. Lambert not going to cop any damage off Nomad, shoots another shell, missing
yeah, quite a few misses there. Quite a few misses, not ideal. But look, Joke and Gomley in the meantime just duking it out in their hold down heavy tanks. Well, that's actually a few good shots.
Madhouse goes down to the ram from Caviar, takes him out, but once again, Coalitions do not answer him with anything. Natural cover going to be providing the DarkWolves an easy escape.
Yep, there we go. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think Batcon might have even accidentally hit Gomley with the arty shot. Not sure. Anyways, I don't think it's going to matter because right now DarkWolves are so far ahead. There's not really much of a way that TCZ can 4v6 this with 2 of their tanks so low.
Really need to just either go for a brazen push onto Batkong and finish him off, but imagine the damage that they would sustain. Look, Lion can't even poke up above the tracks without Batkong laying down the fire, or Spitz rather.
Yeah, Spitz in that Grill 15, and I'm sure soon to be Batkong in that artillery piece. And look, Lambert here, he's recognised he's on high enough HP, he can come over. There's the arty shot on towards line, and Lambert should be able to finish off Joke. Yep, one more shot. There we go. See you later, Joke. Just like that, 2 bat shots left. And these guys, Nomad and Pixel, look, I'm sorry, but they've been down here the entire game, and they've done nothing.
Now, do you really think that an S-Tank could have saved this, salvaged this mess?
I think the way that TCZ play with the S-Tank would have been better than
would have been better, but would it have salvaged this? Do you think the result would have still been the same, though? A loss here, considering how they got caught out a few times by the artillery?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but
kind of scout with the IS-7.
Yeah, that was just dodgy. Very, very dodgy there from our friends on the Coalition Zoo, and unfortunately,
rough round.
It'll be 3-0.
Yeah, this is not how we'd be coming into this game. So for you and Jordan to get this prediction correctly, Coalition Zoo need to make the mother of all runs and get a swift 5-0 to finish this one.
Well, I'm a little bit jealous of your prediction now, Max, to be honest.
It's not going to matter. I don't think Coalition Zoo have 4 rounds in them, let's be honest here.
Yeah, well...
I'll get the half point for predicting the team.
Yeah, well, exactly. You get a point still, so that's not bad. But with the way that TCC are going, because that is Prokhorovka. That is a map that, even on their defense, you're looking at their stats here, they've got, what, a 33% win rate on the Proc defense, compared to DarkWolves' 20% win rate on the Prokhorovka attack. Like, I don't know, but I just don't see why they would change things that work. The S-Tank works, why not just stick with it?
Not broken, don't fix it. Kind of the old saying goes here.
Exactly. And this is crazy. Driving out.
It's being crazy right now.
Like, he's an IS-7. So, he was even lucky that he spotted out Lambert there, to be honest. And, oh, there you go. Smashed.
Post-battle stats, Caveat, Revolution, and Batkong.
Yeah, Batkong. Look at that.
Huge numbers. And Batkong, his accuracy, even if it was a little bit of splash damage, or, of course, that point blank onto Caviar, well, direct hit rather than point blank. Not shotgunning anyone tonight. Great stuff out of Batkong regardless. Yeah,
Batkong, look, he does really well on that artillery piece. And I think I'd say that he's actually one of the best arty players in WGL APAC. And, like, it's almost a bit of a shame for Batkong because artillery in general, doesn't have quite the impact that playing a tier 10 does normally. So it's rare to see an Artie up there up the top with 2.5k damage. But look, it'll be interesting to see once Artie gets changed down the line, whether we will be seeing any kind of tier 10s coming in. And I wouldn't even mind seeing DarkWolves bring in a tier 10 Artie, now or then.
Well, they better watch out because Valiant's back playing now, and we all know his very strong feelings towards the Artie. So if DarkWolves go up against Meltdown, they better be careful. We could unleash the beast.
Oh, absolutely. But look at that. Crazy Pac-Manius and Nomad. Like, Nomad, he was alone for the entire battle in that bat chat, and he did nothing. Nothing.
Nada.
6 shots fired, 0 damage dealt. That is just not... You
we
can't
saw
win
him trying
games
to get
like
those
that.
long-range shots and just missing after miss after
It's not
miss.
a grill. If he wants to do that, he should pick a grill, not a bat chat, like...
That's the reason these tanks exist, right, Alex?
Exactly.
But so picking the wrong tool for the job, obviously, here tonight.
A leopard even. Like, yes. I don't know.
No, but look, they're really struggling to find their fundamentals that have shown us signs of greatness with Coalition 2. So, coming into the second half of Prokhorovka, they're not looking great. They're looking the complete opposite of great right now. They're looking pretty crap, Alex. Let's be honest here. Didn't expect Ghost Town to be 2-0 in such a fashion. Didn't expect them to come into Prokhorovka and really not know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, I mean, look, the only positive thing here for TCZ is that they are now going to be playing on the attack. And that is where they have the 83%. That is where they are good at on the attack.
This has to be the turning point.
Well, I hope for their sake it is.
I mean, they're running out of chances here. This is their best shot, 83%. They're down 0-3. This needs to be where they turn the tide of battle.
Absolutely. And again, like I did say it that last round, if we don't see an S-Tank, we won't see TCZ win. And I will say with a lot of confidence that exact same thing. If we don't see an S-Tank here, if we don't see Madhouse on the S-Tank here from TCZ, then we won't see them win. Because they're just not good at other things on Prokhorovka.
No,
they're really good at the S-Tank. They're just not good on other things. And DarkWolves obviously very comfortable on Prokhorovka. That's why they didn't veto it. Statistically, they're not great, but it still feels like a map where they do feel comfortable on.
And I think you're right. And I think last game showed it. They had that grill doing lots of damage. They had the artillery just popping off the entire round. And now on the opposite side, you say Coalition 2, they need that S-Tank. It really seems like they funneled themselves into this kind of one-track mind where if they're not running the tanks that they're good at, there's not a lot else they can do. So, Coalition 2, how do they win this one, Alex?
Oh, well, they've got the S-Tank. So,
Step 1 complete.
Step 1 complete. As long as Madhouse is in it, then...
The not lose checkbox has been ticked.
Exactly. Then that's going to be pretty good. But the DarkWolves this time actually changing it up a little bit here on the defense. And instead of the M40, going to be going with the FV207, the British Tier 8 artillery piece. It does have a little bit less damage than that M40. But I think the 6-inch gun that it has is maybe a little bit more accurate. Maybe a little bit... lower reload time on that one as well from memory.
So with picking an artillery piece, what are some of the factors that teams are looking for here? Why would they go for something different when it worked so well last time?
Well, that's a good question. If we take like a kind of comparison look from the FV207 up against the M40, the gun is one of the main differences. The M40 has a much less accurate gun that deals a lot more damage. M40 accuracy is about 0.86 meters per 100 meters. The FV207 around about the 0.72 mark. So in that respect, you are going to hit more of those shots that you take. So if you need to hit something like an STRV and you don't want to RNG it, then maybe an FV207 is a better idea.
Oh, let's jump on with a listen with DarkWolves and see if that FV207 is the correct choice for them.
근데 캐비어 쪽이 너무 비는데 캐비어 제껴질까봐 걱정스럽다. 바샷이 여기서 움직임을 최소화해줘야 돼. 빠르게 돌자.
조준됐나? 한번 찍는다.
찍어보고 안 뜨면 바로 푸시 날려 그냥.
지금 애들
그냥
30kg
사정거리로 뛰어. 나 캐비어 받칠게 이거.
없다.
3캐비거든. 3캐비거든.
나 그냥 맞으면서 캡 끊을게.
한 번 끊었고.
어.
야, 이거 언덕 가서 스트라브 잘라?
가서 잘라야지. 그거
잘라야지.
말이라고 둘인데.
야 다음 코어 스티비야.
아 이거 장전 되나?
아이씨.
20초.
야 바샷은
5초.
야 잠깐만, 야 뒤에 바샷.
한 번 다시 찍는다.
바샷 언더가
아 조졌다. 야 이거 캡 끊어야 되는데.
한
기다려봐.
번만 끊어봐. 한 번만 끊어봐.
캡 못 끊냐?
기다려봐. 끊은 거 같은데?
나이스.
끊었어, 끊었어.
저 STV가 쏘구나. STV가.
스트라브 내려간다 지금.
아나 스킬 없는데 이거.
아 이거
야 그 다음은
한번 끊어야 된다.
1390이야.
1390 찾아.
캡
아
못
찾아.
찾아.
하지 않고
못
한번
뛰어?
끊어야 된다. 한번 끊어야
나 지금
된다.
장전 시간이 안 돼. 앞에 있는 애가 써야 돼.
About time we get a DarkWolves listening that isn't just complete coughing and spluttering. Sounds like a lot of their colds have gone away, and that could explain why they're playing a lot better. But this time it looks like Coalition Zoo maybe are playing a lot better right now.
Well, I'm not too sure about that because TCZ right now, well, they are, I don't know, struggling a little bit. We have just seen Pixel gone down, although you're right, the DarkWolves not having quite the easy time. Madhouse is in that S-Tank and he's had a big impact, but right now it's looking like Yui should just be able to finish him off.
That just looks like the worst feeling.
Yeah, yeah. You're not wrong. And now it is a 4v2 essentially, not counting the artillery
Ooh, good
piece.
shot.
So, yeah, it is looking like the DarkWolves here maybe struggling. Or
Coalition
are
Zoo,
struggling.
They've got an 83% win ratio on the attack side of Proc for a reason, and Spitz, that's the out of bounds, mate. You kind of, as much as you want to run for the hills, there's only so much hill left to run to, my friend.
Yeah, and right now the prospects for the DarkWolves actually coming back in towards this and winning it is very, very slim. Yui might be able to get a few little shots on towards Crazib there. Maybe if the Artie helps out, then could see something potentially happen. But
His best bet is if Crazib gets bogged down.
oh, there we go.
He did get bogged down, funnily enough.
Well,
but
the Artie does bogged him down.
it wasn't due
Oh,
to the
no, yep,
environment.
That's it though.
Yep.
Lions caught him, and Yui's going to try and go down there. Lions should be able to chase him and polish him off. Unfortunately for Mr. Yui. So, oh no, gets tracked as well.
Oh, smash. He goes down. Lion gets the damage one. Nomad takes the kill credit. Spitz on 194 health back on in the artillery. Not too much left for DarkWolves to cling onto here. Coalition Zoo, the turning point had to happen, and it did. So now they're just going to go for the mother of all runs. 4 more rounds and it's in the bag, Alex.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Easy peasy, I think.
It sounds easy when we say it like that.
Yeah, I think the FV207, their
Come on,
back
Kong.
hasn't had quite as much of an impact in this game. It's unfortunate. I mean, the FV207, it's not something that we see very often. I don't really think
Funny
you can...
looking tank.
It is. I don't really think you can blame anything on the FV207 pick. I mean, honestly, this round's just been a lot shorter. That early engagement was a lot shorter there for...
See you later, mate.
and that was it.
Great stuff by Coalition too. About time they pulled their act together here, got themselves a win on the board. Of course, it was their most favored round in the entire matchup tonight. So, at least they've still got that going for them.
At least they do. So
That would have
TCZ
kind of been
there.
the point of no return.
Yeah.
They'd lost that.
Exactly. So TCZ, I mean, look, not struggling there too much. The DarkWolves, again, I'm not too sure what really went wrong for them. They could have, I don't know, maybe got into a little bit of a better defensive setup right from the get-go, and I think that S-Tank, by the time that the DarkWolves did actually take down Madhouse in the S-Tank, the typical thing that always happens whenever Madhouse is in the S-Tank on the attack happened again. He was just left up on the hill, left to deal shot after shot after shot after shot after shot, so much damage. So that's why TCC win these games, is because they just spot the tanks. Madhouse, he gets into siege mode, he gets up on the hill, and he just does crazy amounts of damage with that STRV.
Yeah, so it always does beg the question to why they didn't do it the first side. Why'd they have to wait till this to bust it out? And
Yeah.
hopefully they go back, look at this footage, hear our thoughts on the matter, and ask themselves that question, because it does happen. Sometimes these things can slip your mind, and you go back and think, wait a second, why didn't we just do what works? Why did we try something new here? I guess it is up against DarkWolves, so maybe they're filled with a little bit more confidence than they normally have, but jumping in the post-battle stats here, you can see Joke, Yui, and Lion, the top 3 damage dealers on your board tonight.
Yes, there we go. And, well, interesting actually that Madhouse in the S-Tank didn't get over 2k damage, only 1711. I really thought he would have had a little bit more than that. But look, those STBs, they are damage per minute machines.
Yeah.
So, you know, TCZ having either of those 3 tanks, either of the 2 STBs or the STRV up for an extended period of time will always lead to that. So,
Actually, Pac-Manius and Gomli. Not doing too much there. Understandable for Pac-Manius, but Gomli in the IS-7 kind of taking a leaf out of Crazib's book.
yeah, 7 damage in that IS-7. Not ideal there for Mr. Gomli. But look, Beached, again, you know, new to the team for TCZ. Really would like to see him stepping it up a little bit more. They still want, you know, it's still convincing. He was in the 113, so not too much to be expected. But with 5 shots fired, maybe you'd like a few more hit. I suppose he was trading it out. And Bat Kong, that's honestly not a bad damage number for a very quick loss like that in an artillery piece. 1200, I mean, you can't really complain. Probably around about the same that a tier 8 light tank would have got done in that time anyway. I felt as though DarkWolves there, maybe they did need an S-tank on the defense as well. It might have worked out better.
Yeah.
But
But about time, Coalition Zoo. They're not rolling over. They're not out of this just yet. They still have the chance, the opportunity to make the dream run back in. Crazier things have happened. We started our night with crazier things, Alex.
We did.
Meltdown taking out the undefeated team efficiency, first team in the league to do so. So, you know, it's in other words, yet team efficiency. You've still got it.
Yes. Look, we could see some crazy things. We could see some stranger things. But with the next map,
Great show.
of course. Sorry?
Stranger Things, great show.
Yeah, you got it. I did make that reference. I haven't actually watched all of season 1 though. I kind of got a little bit stuck, so I need to power on a little bit.
Too much tanks, Alex. You need
Too
to
much
find
tanks,
some new
exactly.
time. You've got the air conditioner arrived. You're in personal AC.
Yeah,
unit.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
no more excuses.
One day after we got our house aircon fixed, of course.
Oh, what else, right? It's got to be ironic.
Tell you what, you'd hope if you were a tanker in like World War II or something, you'd really hope that your aircon didn't get busted up.
No,
if
you're
they
right.
even had aircon.
I don't. You know what? I
Not
think
sure.
I think the aircon was a pretty early invention, but I don't know how far World War II.
Yeah, like I could just imagine.
Or World War II preceded it.
I suppose.
Look, we got people in the back room. They can be looking up these important facts right now. Did they have air conditioners in World War II? You can tweet us as well. Let us know right now.
Well, World War II, I guess there wasn't many tanks fighting in Australia in World War II,
No.
so probably not quite so needed. Probably need a few rugs instead,
Look,
you know, in the Russian IS-3s and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Australia's is not really
T-
known for its land combat. We don't have many threats coming at us in tanks at the moment, unless they're getting airdropped in or dropped
There
on
we
one of those
go.
big car carriers and whatnot.
Well, there's an idea for Wargaming. You could make an Australian map, you know, for World of Tanks. So you
You got Uluru in the middle.
Yeah,
the
what
big,
would
the
you
big vantage
what
point.
would you call it? You call it like
Outback.
Outback.
You call it Outback.
There you go.
Simple.
Wargaming,
And,
please.
If,
Wargaming,
if,
please.
if your tank isn't fitted with air conditioning, you'll die of heat exhaustion.
Yeah, that could be a new game mechanic added into the game, a new module, the air conditioner. And if it goes out, then you know if it
You're
gets shot
done.
down, your crew all get 20% lower skills.
Yeah, it's
just
like,
having
oh,
a command
the
issue of that.
engine's not repaired. Who cares? We can repair that aircon. Our comfort is paramount.
Higher chance of fire as well, maybe. If the air conditioner is out. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Look,
I think
we're full of ideas here. on the
we should be game
broadcast.
designers, Max. I reckon we should.
You've dabbled in that though a bit, haven't you, Alex?
Oh, I've been known to. But anyways, I think Wargaming, I'll leave that up to them.
Up to the professionals.
Up
at
to
the
the
end of the day.
professionals, yes.
If you can't do, you cast. That's the.
Exactly. That's the ticket. But look, overall, guys, we have seen some pretty intense play there by TCZ to win them that half. And now, of course, moving on to our next map,
Himmels?
which is Himmels. I think we're going to see a little some interesting play, some more. I don't want to say sloppier play, but it is a map where I feel as though both of these teams, they struggle from time to time.
They really do. DarkWolves, they haven't won a single defense on Himmels yet. Coalition Zoo, they've got a kind of a mixed bag here, but it's a it's a mixed bag of
33%
terrible
win rate.
treats.
Yeah.
So no matter what you get, it's gonna be crap.
Yeah, it's just like getting some Halloween candies from someone, reaching into the bag
the
or
reject
whatever.
shop ones.
Yeah, the reject shop ones. all the-
Powdery taste to them.
Yeah, like the mints, Really.
little single Eclipse mints, and you're just thinking,
Yeah.
what went wrong? Where did I go wrong? And you
Yeah.
exit house off your list. You put them on the blacklist. Never
Yeah.
again.
Look, that's not great. Well, once actually for Halloween, I got given a bag of raisins.
Really, that's a
Yeah.
nightmare. You often hear
It's-
about that, but I haven't had it happen to me. I think the worst was just someone looked at me and they're like, "Halloween's for Americans." They
Yeah.
shut the door. And
Oh,
I was a little kid. I was so young. Shattered me.
It's like, mate, if you're giving away free candy, I just said candy. It is for Americans, obviously.
Yep.
If you're giving away free lollies,
Lollies.
then,
That's it.
it's for everyone. Simple
See,
as
so
that.
I always buy some lollies, and the best part is if it's not popular, that's just lollies for me. So it's a win-win. Either I
good.
give lollies
Yeah.
to kids and make their nights, or I get that little bit fatter.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to remember if World of Tanks had a Halloween event last year. I don't know. Did it celebrate?
What could they do? Dress up their tanks in
Well,
cloth sheets?
It'd be great. You could have like little pumpkin decorations on your tanks.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think, and you can make some of the maps into night mode, make them a little bit spooky. Put some,
Haunted
little
Himmels.
lanterns around. Yeah, exactly.
A haunted Himmelsdorf would look
That'd be
nice.
good.
Some of those destroyed buildings could really, the architecture's there. I reckon you could give it a little bit of a theme. Team
Yeah,
with the theme.
absolutely.
Wargaming,
Absolutely. That'd be good.
We're really popping off tonight,
We're
aren't
on fire tonight, I reckon. I mean, better push away all the job offers from Wargaming's office here. Actually, Wargaming do have an office here in Sydney,
Yeah.
but it's for the engine mainly. It's for the Big World engine,
of course.
which
Makes sense.
the excellent technology that powers the giant MMO that is World of Tanks, of course.
Yeah, keep in mind, Australia, it's quite far away from everything else, so we do have to have our own servers and whatnot here, because being a gamer from Australia was always a struggle growing up. And I remember thinking back in the days of red bar every single game is one day I'll see that green bar and I'll be a happy man. And it's still on the horizon here, but
let's talk about Hillsdorf now.
we can get underway with the real reason you're here. Alex and I's talk show, that's on Wednesday nights.
Yes.
You have to catch us then.
Or on Friday before the stream. But look, Himmelsdorf, very close quarters map. We should expect to see both of these teams picking lots of heavy tanks, lots of trading, lots of brawls happen on Himmelsdorf. We could be seeing TCZ do their successful strategy, rushing the hill like they did last week. Let's find out where they're going.
A couple of E100s for the Coalition Zoo here, so back to standards.
Yep, and a couple of E100s for the DarkWolves as well. So the DarkWolves taking a bit of a page out of TCZ's book, and TCZ going super heavy with their lineup. They've only got one tier 10 autoloader in the Kranwagen there. So really set up for a brawl. I think TCZ are just going to be going super passive with that setup. The DarkWolves, so they don't have any tier 8, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to do any kind of cap strategies on the flags. They're probably looking for a brawl as well. On their side, again, the only difference is they've got the T10, they've got the WZ111. They're fairly similar in terms of their roles. Both have that high alpha gun for the tier 9, pretty decent sort of turret armor, particularly on that WZ.
Both teams neglecting to get themselves an FV4005, which we have seen kind of been popping up more and more throughout the APAC region.
Yeah.
Interesting to see that they've neither of the teams gone for that one here, opting for the E100s, bit health and armor rather than damage.
Yep, that's right. And of course, close one as it looks like. DarkWolves are heading up the banana line there. Fairly standard option to push with those super heavies. They can get it up fairly easily.
Thoughts back to Coalition Zoo's listening, where they're saying they won't expect us doing it the 40th time.
Yeah.
It looks like Coalition Zoo, Pixel, Beach rather, takes a shot. I wonder who shot him. Whereabouts is he on the map? He's quite far back, so there may have been a shot from Batkong or Lambert as they were crossing. Gonley and Spitz, though, making their way over to that 2 flag. We can see Yui up on a very good vantage point here. Looks like he might be relocating to get into a better, more adaptable position.
Yep. Yui there. Grill 15. We've got Nomad around the place. Madhouse in his usual spot in that T1 10E3. I mean, taking stock of things, this is a fairly standard setup for not only TCZ but for both teams here. Gomley just doing a bit of reverse side scraping in that T10, and now TCZ. It's looking like they are going to be making the move quite early on, which I like. Yui. Oh, actually does get a shot on towards Pixel there.
Find too much damage on that one, and you can see no shenanigans going on as we have seen Himmels in the past few days. Being very shenanigans-heavy maps, often flipping tanks up on their sides and hiding behind corpses here. But looks like coalitions are able to deter the threat from DarkWolves Caviar.
Oh, what's happening down there? I think
quite damaged here. He's going to have to back up.
Yeah, Lion. Actually, wow. Will you look at that?
The Lion's got teeth.
Yeah, maybe Caviar tried to poke out for Lion there, but Pac-Manias and Nomad punished him. I reckon that's maybe what have happened. If we can do a tank scene investigation on that one.
So you just got smacked around a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. His driver's dead now as
Joke.
well.
Huge shot onto him. He's got to be careful. He's got to make sure not to die here. Losing an E100 this early could be very detrimental, but look at the push coming in for DarkWolves. It's their entire platoon right now. They're finishing off the last remaining stragglers from Coalition Zoo. They have to back themselves up. Beach, first one to fall. Joke, he has to use that corpse to his advantage. He's taking some shots here. Crazy, trying to get some return fire, but not doing too much damage. 8-second reload every time he shoots.
Yeah, there we go. Crazy here. He is in a very good spot to get these shots off.
Caviar goes revenge. Gomley kills Joke. It's looking so bad. Coalition Zoo, they're down 3 tanks, but the HP pool still even. If they're able to focus their fire and take some tanks off the field, they could turn it around. Madhouse, that's a great way to start it. Kill Revolution, but what's going to happen? He dies for his trouble. Spitz trying to get the cheap little ram here. Backhong should have no trouble finishing him off, but Coalition Zoo, 3 tanks to 6. Yui, low, can they finish him off? Crazy gets it.
Yeah, there's just too many tanks left in the game here for the DarkWolves. I mean, look, maybe if Nomad manages to stay out for a while, but the issue is the DarkWolves still have so much damage, even on Lambert. You know, it's a 56 HP tank, but there we go.
Turn into a 3-3 fight. If Caviar, he's one shot away from death. Spitz, he's going to be getting shot up now, getting lower and lower, but Crazy, he's going to get very, very on the point of death. They're trying to take out Spitz. He's backed himself into a corner, but he gets the kill just in time. Caviar finishes it off now. Pac-Manias with no bullets left in the clip. Can't finish off Spitz. He's going to go down now. All eyes on Nomad.
And Nomad here, he's going to have to pull off something pretty miraculous, and it's hard to say who he primaries. And now with Spitz, look, Spitz has the full clip in. He's just got one shot off on towards Nomad, and I think at this point, it should be enough there. Nomad maybe... Yeah, it's so hard in a situation like this to know who to shoot.
Yeah, he's just got to play it safe and go for the WZ, because if he doesn't, there's no way that Spitz pokes. So he would just be shooting nothing. So a terrible situation to be in, but we're on match point right now. DarkWolves 4-1, did not expect such a demanding series coming out of them.
Yeah, look, DarkWolves really pulling in through to the end there, and that was just a great initial push in towards that flag by the DarkWolves. They got so much damage out onto both of those E100s so early on. It was great shooting from the DarkWolves E100s and that grill. You know, it was just the Coalition Zoo. Maybe they're not used to playing against all of those high alpha tanks.
Could be.
Like, because a shot from E100 grill, that's 2,200 damage, maybe even a little bit more. So just like that, you've taken only 3 shots and your E100 is almost dead. So something that maybe caught TCZ out by surprise a little bit. The DarkWolves, again, they didn't have too many auto loaders. They just had the T10, the WZ111, again, very high alpha tanks. So the guys from TCC, they couldn't really switch out. They all just got bursted down individually, and I think that's what worked so well for the DarkWolves there. That by the time the last 3 members of TCC were alive, they were all on full health, because DarkWolves, it was just like select 1, shoot 1, select 2, shoot 2, dead.
So the focus fire was definitely there for DarkWolves, and that was the biggest factor that was lacking for the Coalition. So you saw DarkWolves, they had 6 tanks left alive, like sub 1,000 health. That can't be happening, because it doesn't matter if a tank's on 1,000 health or if it's on 200 health. It's still going to deal damage when it shoots.
Simple as that. Absolutely, and if you're an E100 that's still alive, then you're still going to deal 750 damage when you shoot.
And this looked like it could have been the turning point here, but unfortunately, once Pac-Manius had shot all out his shells, all he had left was a 30-second reload, and poor Nomad had the potential to clutch, but very well played by DarkWolves, darting in and out, making sure that they were never in danger.
Yeah, that was great play there by Bakong and Spitz. You know, Spitz had just rushed forward, then maybe Nomad would have been able to take him down first, take that damage off the field, and maybe even ricochet a few shots from Bakong in that WZ-111, but not to be the case. And, well, crazy in that 113. He actually played that one really, really well.
He did.
In that little pillbox. Again, that is the perfect spot for a 113 because it can get hull down. You can only see its turret until you come behind it, and it's essentially invulnerable. So hitting in there, dealing 4,000 damage, that's exactly what he needed to do. Unfortunately, still not quite enough.
Yeah, they just lost too much damage by that point, and the 113, like you mentioned, great hull down position, is able to see so many targets, especially when that's the avenue of approach for DarkWolves, but unfortunately it's just letting off shots too slowly, and that's just how it goes when you're not an auto loader. You just have to go. You just have to play it that way, and by then, DarkWolves, they'd already finished a few tanks, and it 4,000 damage is not enough, and it's very rare we say something like that.
Yeah, well, exactly. When you get 4,000 damage and still lose, it's never ideal, but I suppose he was up against those two E100s, so lots of HP on the field.
He was able to take out the grill.
Yep.
Or at least get the majority of the damage on it.
Yeah, Yui didn't have much of an impact in that grill, to be honest. And again, Joke and Beach, the E100s for Team Coalition Zoo. One shot each, basically. Joke maybe a little bit more, but like that is what we always see. Whenever TCC pick E100s and lose, their E100s always do nothing. And like...
Bit of a running joke now, unfortunately.
For two E100s, if it was just one, if it was just the one that got bursted down instantly, then that's sort of almost fair enough. But for two E100s to only get one damage shot off in Himmelsdorf,
sucks. It sucks for them, it really does. But coming into the second half, this is a side that DarkWolves have not won yet. Currently on 0%.
Defense.
0 to 3 on Himmelsdorf defense are DarkWolves. So this is another opportunity for Coalition Zoo to right their wrongs here and come back into the series.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. I mean, the DarkWolves on the defense of Himmelsdorf, I think they've just done some silly things previously.
I think you're right.
And if they just go for a stock standard, passive, to be fair, 2-flag defense, then I can't really see this being easy for TCC. Even though the DarkWolves do have a 0% win rate on it, I think if they just fall back to that standard sort of defensive Himmelsdorf play that we see lots of teams playing, I'm sure the DarkWolves can pull that off. So,
and not to mention they're playing better than Coalition Zoo tonight. It's not something that would just say, oh yeah, it's simple as just play the standard. If you play standard against a team that you're not playing up to par with, you're going to get run over. But for the DarkWolves, they're playing better. Their shots are on point. Their focus fire has been amazing tonight, so I really think you're on the right track here. If they just play that standard Himmels defense, set up around the 2-flag, keep their line of sights, keep their communications up, their focus fire on point, then there's really no way the Coalition Zoo can come back in this.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. If TCZ, want to, they can play the Himmelsdorf attack. They do have a 33% win rate on it, which obviously isn't fantastic, but again, it does prove that they can win it if they want. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Really, once again, they've found themselves in a terrible position. 4-1 at the moment. None of us thought this was... We're not even close. We're playing the wrong sport. Not even in the same ballpark right now in our prediction game.
Yeah.
So shame on us. DarkWolves, they're really showing up. Maybe this is obviously the same squad that took out Karen Tiger. They're not resting on their laurels. They're using that momentum and kind of that mindset that enabled them to beat such a top-tier team. Obviously, it is against Coalition Zoo, and teams do tend to look a little bit better when taking on Coalition Zoo. But you got to remember where DarkWolves are in relation to most of these teams. They're currently 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah, lowest team on the bracket. So even the 7th, that's a step up.
Okay, well, let's have a look. And wow, that is
CDC.
Very interesting here.
They got the memo. This is Himmels and not Ruinberg, correct?
Yeah, I don't like. No, actually, I was about to say I don't like that, but I actually do like that. Because the CDC, if they all got the hill, if they
Yep.
push that CDC down towards the northern cap flag
Sure.
and get either the IS-7 or yeah, probably the IS-7 they'd want behind it. FE4005 maybe could go behind it as well. But that's going to be very hard to dislodge. So I don't mind the CDC there. They've got the FE4005 and there's maybe enough targets for it. It can shoot the AMX-50Bs, it can shoot the Batchat, it can shoot maybe the front of the T10 and the EMIL-2. So, yeah, a good few little targets there for Madhouse.
Well, you know who better to ask about what
Who better
exactly
to ask,
they're going to be
Max?
running here? It's Coalition Do themselves, and guess what, guys? We got to listen in, so let's, without further ado, let's jump in and see how they plan to utilize this CDC.
You want 100% health so you can defend the hill properly.
I'm not lit. Am I able to shoot his up plate at all now?
Okay, wait. Are we going down first?
So stay on
Wait, you
don't
can hit him
poke.
you can hit him through the tunnel.
Beach, pull back. Beach, pull back.
Wait. Don't get lit.
Why? Come on, guys, stop. We need to play this strat.
Mad, you need to go down now.
Yeah.
So
Let's go, Krasov.
Krasov needs to
Oh,
go
there's an
first.
E100 around there, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Well, if there's an E100 there, are we going
So
to
he's
do that or
blocking.
not?
He's blocking the spot. We need to think about that.
We'll just shoot him, just
Should
kill
we
him.
go somewhere else?
Just get there
Alright.
and kill him.
Yeah, he's blocking the spot.
Oh
There he
boy,
is.
No, it's not.
he ain't blocking shit.
There he is. Just go kill him. Go
Bounce.
kill him. He's not going to be able to get down in time. You need to kill him.
Is anyone backing
I'm
him
gonna
up?
pull a handbrake here.
Oh, fuck off.
Mad, mad, mad.
Oh fuck, I'm purple
Get out of the way,
track.
mad.
Krasov's dead.
I'm purple track.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Easy up,
never mind.
easy up.
Never mind.
Nice.
Never
He's
mind.
dead. He's dead. Good.
They,
This is different. This is different.
they expected this. They already expected this.
What
Yeah.
if we pull out now?
The 50's loading.
A little bit of indecision in the Coalition camp tonight, Alex. You can hear they are saying that E100's in the spot. Oh, do we need to rethink of this? No, we kill him now. And bit of a two-track mind here. Batcom coming for a flank, though.
Yeah, look, Coalition Zoo there, the final words, they were the most important. They said they expected this, and they absolutely did. The DarkWolves were set up and ready for exactly that scenario for the Coalition Zoo to push down that A line and really deny them that opportunity. And now TCZ have lost so much health, so many hit points, trying to retreat back up because the DarkWolves were just 100% ready for that. They read it like a book. And again, I don't see the point of doing of picking a CDC when it literally and playing the strategy that the enemy team will think that you're going to play with a CDC.
Well, that's the thing, right? We've seen it on Runeberg. Teams pick Meltdown, they pick the CDC, then they go for the two flag. They don't even do the strategy it's designed for. They use it as
exactly.
a mind game
As a
to
mind
mess with your
game. As a
opponent.
mind
So,
game, I like the CDC.
Yeah, they're not. DarkWolves called their bluff.
Yep, they called their bluff. Well, yeah, and TCC just did exactly what the DarkWolves expected them to do. There's no reason that it can't work with an RU-251, even an AMX 1390, and it gives so fewer options for the team. Oh, actually,
Could
Caveat
have
caught
caught a
out.
few members out of here. They're on the banana line. Great shots coming through from
Yeah.
Coalition Zoo. They're absolutely lighting up the DarkWolves members. 3 of them caught completely off guard, but this is what we see Coalition Zoo doing wrong, is they get the damage, but they don't get the kills. That means DarkWolves have a chance to answer back, but Lion finds the kill onto Caviar. That's the Emil 2
good.
down.
That's good, actually, and that now
7.5.
means, actually, that TCZ, they're up by 2 tanks, which is no
Can they find
small
Spitz?
margin.
Lion's got to be careful as he comes around this corner. He doesn't know what's there. He knows that Spitz is low, but he can't afford to overcommit and lose a Batchat. Nomad going to be making his way down in the T110E3.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous there for DarkWolves, particularly now that they only have 5 tanks up. They really need to get these TCZ tanks down. They can't afford to just keep on splitting damage like this. They need to take Krasov down. They need to really take Madhouse down, because an FE4005 on 263 HP, he can still one-shot, you know, the Batchat, one-shot the AMX 50B, one-shot Spitz, and maybe even one-shot Lambert if he's lucky. So TCZ definitely not out of this yet, even though the HP advantage is well and truly in DarkWolves' favour, about 2.3 thousand HP. Oh, Gomley there.
Shot Gomley now in a bit of a duress here as Joke's going to be popping in and out, getting the shots in his AMX 50B.
Like, why is Gomley pushing out here? He doesn't really need to, and he
Crazy, man.
And he can't do anything when he pushes out. So he's just like now sealed himself into a spot where he doesn't really want to be sealed.
The Lamb not being able to find too much,
misses
taking all the way
it.
down to half.
Oh, this is so bad. And look at him, a huge shot on towards the E100 there. This is falling apart for the DarkWolves.
Oh, they are going to kill into Pac-Manius, but that's only the CDC out of the picture, and it's already been useless enough. Every tank getting lower and lower. Nomad in the T110E3, the only tank still left alive on full health. I can tell a lie, Yui is as well. But we can see it's an absolute back and forth right now. Tanks poking in and out, trying to get the kill. Oh, Joke goes down to Yui, but is it enough to give DarkWolves a chance back in this?
Or maybe Lambert actually should be able to
Beach
take
goes down as well.
Oh, yep, there we go. So with Peach down, I mean, look, we're pretty even in terms of HP. The Coalition Zoo have...
Oh, Spitz gets across him.
Oh, there we go. One less tank. 3 tanks up for TCZ right now. And looking at where they are, Madhouse, I'm just not too sure how much of an impact he's been having up on that hill because none of the DarkWolves tanks have been within range for him to shoot or have been within angle for him to shoot. Really feel as though that could have cost TCZ right here.
Oh, there goes Madhouse. Gomley picks him up. It's going to be a 4 versus 2 Nomad. He needs to come up Huge Lion.
Yeah,
Going to be rotating around to regroup.
Yeah, it's a T110E3, and in this scenario, this is not what you want a T110.
Look, he can wiggle that nozzle around as much as he wants.
Yeah.
But once the tank's behind him, he's pretty much donezo's.
Yep, exactly. That's one of the issues with the T110E3. And yeah, having been ignored like this, now TCZ, well, they're getting in towards the cap at least. So we are going to need Yui there to maybe, if he goes down first, then Lion, I don't know. But he's not going to go down first. One shot. Oh.
That?
They actually need to push on towards the T110E3 though. They shouldn't be really doing this.
Lion finds a kill onto Yui. Bakong is very, very low as well. If Lion can sneak one through, but Nomad down to 388. Oh, Gomley. Cheeky. Going to be poking around the side in the E100. He only needs one shot onto either of these tanks. Do Coalition Zoo know he's coming? There he is. Takes out Lion. Finishes him off. Just going to go around and spot out Nomad. He knows he's behind him, so he has no fear. Takes out the round. And that's going to be DarkWolves taking the series 5-1. What a slaughter.
What a slaughter. Absolutely. The DarkWolves really chopping up TCZ there.
Ouch.
And I mean, if you're TCZ, you've really got to get your act together, I think.
Look, and I think we got a brief insight into some of the things that are going wrong with that team. A lot of indecision, a lot of back and forth, and they really didn't have a backup strategy. They just say, look, we've all in on this plan. We got to do it. And there's really no alternatives being discussed.
Yeah,
and
like,
there wasn't. I get it. Like, tanks is an intense game. You don't have the time. But like when you completely put all your eggs into one basket, get the CDC in the spot, as they were calling it, and then it just fails, and they say, oh, the E100 is just blocking. They're like, no, it's not. We got to kill it. And then they go around the banana. They got some great kills on the return, but I'd have loved to see that focus and maybe those alternatives being sprung to action before they took all that damage and time trying to kill the E100.
Yeah, I mean, look, TCZ there, the issue for them was that they got found out before they had done anything. The DarkWolves just
whole tab, you see the
perfectly set up exactly to defend against that very obvious push, what it was. Look, there is no reason it had to be a CDC. Again, like you shouldn't pick a CDC strat. You shouldn't pick a CDC if you want to do a CDC strat. Doesn't make sense, but
ultimate mind game.
Yeah, like
I feel you, dude. I get you.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well,
that
TCZ don't feel me.
No, they're and you know what? They're not feeling good tonight, obviously, because they're going to be walking away with a 5-1 loss against DarkWolves, who are on the bottom of the leaderboard right now. So the one team that we thought Coalition Zoo, well, you and Jordan thought Coalition Zoo should be able to beat tonight, and they didn't.
Okay. And this week, TCZ have really been a little bit lacking.
Great shot by the Lamb.
Yeah. The Lamb, but again, he sacrificed about 1,000 HP to get one of those shots, and was still worth it though. But still sloppy play from the DarkWolves. It has to be said, it wasn't a clean
it's
win
8th
from
versus 7th. We were expecting sloppy coming into tonight, Alex.
Exactly.
We were expecting it, so not too surprised at the state of the quality of the games, more or less the score of the games. I just wasn't expecting it to be that dominant out of DarkWolves.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised that Madhouse even got 5 shots off in that
You've
FE4
given him a lot of flack up on that hill, but
yeah, well, like I just didn't see how he would have been dealing damage whilst up on the hill to those tanks in the banana. But you know, I suppose if he's done his job, 4,000 damage.
He's just dropping the shells off the top.
Yeah.
His crew are getting out and just throwing him at that stage.
That probably worked. When he's throwing a 183mm shell, I wonder how much that weighs.
Yep.
Probably need a few.
How many crew are in the FE4?
Strapping young lads.
5 or 6?
You probably need all of them to lift.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Everyone just abandons the tank and dropping them straight on the banana.
Yep. But there you go. Look, Nomad in the T110E3, that didn't work. The CDC, that didn't work either. 703 damage, 6 shots fired. Yeah, the DarkWolves just out playing the old lads from TCZ in that scenario.
Yeah, rough game for Coalition tonight.
Yeah, I think that coming into this, they
rough
were
weekend.
Evenly matched on paper.
I
know,
yeah, you put it down, likely a 50-50 matchup, but this did not look like a 50-50 matchup. This looked very one-sided in favor of DarkWolves.
Yep. So look, I hope that TCZ can kind of come back into this in their next match. I think it's probably not tomorrow, probably next week sometime. But overall, a 5-1 loss to the DarkWolves. Like, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't practice too hard this week, or maybe they practiced those strategies that obviously were not going to work. You know, no S-Tank on Prokhorovka, their CDC Himmelsdorf. And there you go, top 3 DarkWolves.
Huge damage being dealt by all 3 of them. Backong, especially considering the tanks he was rocking with tonight. So props to him for being able to dish out the damage
with
when
the
it
Arties.
mattered.
Absolutely. Big plays there by Batkong. And look, Crazy Madhouse and Joke, they're the ones we normally expect to see up top there for the Coalition Zoo, but not quite able to pull it quite far enough ahead. And again, we didn't see Roby tonight as well. We saw Beached. And
just unfortunately, just not holding the torch tonight. Oh, Pac-Manius. That's
bro. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Not doing a lot, Alex, down there.
Because was it Pac in the tier 8? I forget.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's one map.
Yeah.
Playing the other 4.
Disappointing. Anyways, look, I hope that TCZ come back next week. I hope that they actually sit down, look at what they've done this week, look at their matches, look at their strategies, and say, okay, you know, we should have picked the S-Tank on Prokhorovka there. That was a much better idea. We shouldn't have picked the CDC there on Himmelsdorf.
Once again, I can't stress it enough how not an upset, but just how crazy a win this is for DarkWolves. I wonder if this helps them move up to that 7th spot on the leaderboard. Coalition Zoo tumbling further and further down. But we are going to go to a short little break. Up next will be Karen Tiger taking on EL Gaming. Don't go anywhere, guys. You won't want to miss it. We'll be back in 10.